You probably think your brain is a pretty rational tool, right? Well, I'm willing to bet it falls for the same predictable traps as everyone else's. Don't believe me? Okay, let's put it to the test. Right now.
All right, you've got 10 seconds on the clock. No calculators. Just shout out the first estimate that comes to mind for this problem. Quick, quick. Got a number? Okay, hold that number in your head.
Okay, round 2. Look familiar? It's the exact same problem, just in reverse. Another 10 seconds? Go. So, did you come up with a different answer this time? Yeah, I'm guessing you probably did. Most people do. The real question is, why on earth would that happen?
And here's where our brains get a little tricky. In that first problem, you start small, right? 1 times 2 equals 2. Your brain kind of gets stuck on that low number. It drops an anchor. But in the second version, bam, 10 times 9 is 90. Your brain latches onto that much bigger number, and your final guess probably shot way, way up, even though we all know the answer has to be identical. So, ready for the big reveal? The actual answer is 3,628,800. Yeah, over 3.6 million. Wild, huh? Almost no one gets close. And that massive gap between our gut feeling and reality, that's our first mental trap in action. This is what we call the anchor trap. It's pretty much what it sounds like. Your brain drops a heavy anchor on the very first piece of information it gets. And once that anchor is down, all of your other thoughts tend to stay right there, huddled close to that initial spot.
The fancy term is anchoring heuristic, which is just a mental shortcut. And this doesn't just happen with math problems, oh no. Think about the first price you see for a house, or the initial salary you made at your last job. That number becomes the anchor, the reference point for every single decision that comes after, whether it's logical or not.
All right, let's move to our next trap. This one is all about how much our brains absolutely love a good story. We are so wired to find a narrative that makes sense that we'll often choose it over cold, hard facts, even when it leads us completely astray.
So, I want you to meet Linda. As I read this, just get a picture of her in your head. She's 31, single, very outspoken and bright, majored in philosophy, cared deeply about social justice, and protested nuclear power. You probably have a pretty clear image of her now, right? A story's already forming? Okay, good.
So, which of these is more likely? A, Linda is a bank teller, or B, Linda is a bank teller and is active in the feminist movement? Be honest, your gut probably leaped at B, didn't it? It just fits the story of Linda so much better. But here's the twist. It's statistically impossible. Think about it. Which group is bigger? All bank tellers or the tiny little subset of those tellers who are also feminists? The first group has to be bigger. It's just simple logic.
And boom, that's the trap. Your brain didn't do the math. It chose the compelling story. This is called the representativeness heuristic. And it's why we think lottery numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 feel less random than some jumbled set, even though the odds are exactly the same. We are total suckers for a good story. Now for our third trap, our powerful and often illogical fear of the unknown. You know that old saying, better the devil you know than the devil you don't? Well, our brains live by that rule, even when it costs us. Okay, imagine this. You have to draw a red ball to win a prize. You can choose from Urn A, which has exactly 50 red and 50 black balls, a guaranteed 50-50 shot. Or you can pick Urn B. It also has 100 balls, but the mix is a complete mystery. Could be 100 red balls, could be 0. Which urn do you bet on? Overwhelmingly, people choose Urn A. This is called ambiguity aversion. We prefer a known probability, even if it's mediocre, over a mystery. And this isn't just about urns. This is why people stick with a safe career instead of starting a new venture. It's why many Germans avoid the uncertain stock market. We crave certainty, and we're often willing to pay a high price for it. Okay, for our next trap, let's talk about money. You might think a euro is a euro, but your brain completely disagrees. It creates these invisible little categories for your cash, and this mental accounting totally changes how you feel about spending it. Check this out. Scenario A. You get to the theater and realize you lost a $10 bill. Do you still buy the $10 ticket? Most people say yes. The loss came from their general cash mental account. Now, scenario B. You get to the theater and realize you've lost the $10 ticket you already bought. Do you buy a new one? Suddenly, far fewer people say yes. Why? Because in their head, the entertainment account is now down $20, and that feels way too expensive for one show. You see this play out everywhere. Casino chips feel like play money. After you prepay for a vacation, spending on the actual trip feels free. People take out high-interest loans for a party even if they have savings because that savings account is mentally labeled for something else. It's a powerful and kind of irrational trick of the mind.
All right, let's dive into our final trap, and it is a big one. It's our deep, deep tendency to believe we're smarter, more skilled, and more in control than we actually are. Welcome to the overconfidence trap.
What does this number represent? 80%. That is the percentage of drivers who believe they are better than average, which is, of course, a statistical impossibility. It's the perfect little snapshot of our naturally inflated egos. And this bias totally changes how we explain things. When we succeed, it's because of our skill. When we fail, just bad luck. But when we look at others, we flip the script completely. Their success was just luck, but their failure, well, that was obviously their own fault. It's a powerful bias that protects our ego at all costs.
And this overconfidence has very real costs. In the stock market, it drives people to trade way too often because they're certain they can outsmart everyone else. But as the old German saying goes, back and forth empties the pockets. All those trades just rack up fees that eat away your returns, all fueled by a false sense of expertise.
This is tied directly to the illusion of control, this belief that we can influence random events. It's the reason we insist on picking our own lottery numbers. We know, deep down, it does absolutely nothing to change the odds, but it just satisfies our brain's need to feel like it's in charge. So as we wrap up, it's crucial to understand that these traps aren't really bugs in our mental software. They're features. They're these cognitive heuristics, these shortcuts designed for speed and efficiency. And most of the time they work just fine, but just being aware of them is the key to not letting them lead you into a major error. If you remember one thing from this explainer, let it be this. Your brain is an incredible machine, but it is optimized for survival, not for statistical accuracy. It is wired for stories over statistics, for safety over pure logic, and for confidence over doubt. The real power here isn't just knowing these traps exist, it's spotting them in your own life, in your own decisions. So I'll leave you with a challenge. Now that you can spot these mental traps, which one are you going to try and catch yourself in first?